Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a new video. So coming up for the STI, we have a bunch of modifications coming in. They're coming in this week. So once those things start trickling in, I'll start explaining and start doing videos on them, doing installs, reviews, and all that stuff. Really looking forward to getting back onto doing some installs on the car. It's been a little bit. I've just been enjoying it immensely with the cooler weather around the corner. It has been a lot of fun driving this car. I'm just now experiencing the new power with the new turbo and the external wastegate in the cooler temperatures. Since when I got that done, it was at the beginning of summer. So it was kind of at the start of all the warmer weather and the heat. So now that the weather is cooling down, the car feels ridiculous. Way quicker than I ever remember it. And I've just been really enjoying the car as much as I possibly can. Not focusing on modifications and just driving it. So I'm really looking forward to getting my hands dirty again and installing a bunch of new parts and making some how-to videos for you guys on all those modifications, as I know a lot of these that I'm going to do, a lot of people are interested in as well. So I feel like they're going to help a lot of people out. Also, I have a really fun couple videos that I'm going to be doing. I'm not sure when I'm going to release them, but I'm really looking forward to it. It doesn't have to do with the STI. It actually has to do with something else. So I'm really looking forward to that. I think you guys are going to really enjoy that as well. I know I am. Those videos will be coming out soon. I will be sure to update you guys once everything kind of lines up and we get everything planned and we can start making videos. So what I actually wanted to discuss in this video is something that I seriously get on the daily. What's my favorite modification? What are my top 3 modifications? If you could only choose one modification, what would it be? Those are just some of the questions that I get literally on the daily. People just send me DMs on my Instagram, comments on the YouTube videos, and they honestly just ask me those. So I figured I'll make an updated video going over my top 3 favorite modifications that I have done to this car. I was going to do a video on my favorite modification, but honestly, I had a harder time picking just one. So I figured I'd make a video on the top 3 to kind of help you guys out and let you know why it's my favorite and what it actually does for the car. Now, honestly, this video was very hard to kind of dwindle down to the top 3, or at least my 3 favorite, because honestly, everything that I have on this car is my favorite. I took an approach with this car that I didn't do with any other previous builds, and what I did was save up and wait for the part that I wanted. Not that I didn't do that in the past, but I did that with everything on this car. I sat and waited, and this took me 5.5 years to get to this point. And seeing the car how it is right now, I am so thankful that I took that approach. Now, it took me much longer than normal, but I'm very thankful for how the car is sitting right now because it is absolutely perfect. But these are my top 3 favorite modifications that I have done to my STI. Now, the first favorite modification out of the 3 is inside, and that is these seats right here. Honestly, these Recaro Sportster GT seats completely changed this car, and what I mean by that is it completely changed the whole driving experience, the whole driving dynamic of this car. The stock seats in these cars are absolutely terrible. They sit entirely too high. The driver position is awful. I always felt that I was sitting on top of the car, not in the car. And these seats completely lower your entire body. I want to say a good 5 inches or so at least. So now my feet are more directly at the pedals as opposed to being on top of the pedals. And honestly, this was going to be the modification that I chose if I had to choose just one. These seats are absolutely incredible. It's a very OEM looking type of seat. And they're just fantastic. Very expensive for what they are, but honestly, if you have a chance to pick up these seats, even just one, I had to adjust the driver's seat for quite a while. I highly recommend it. There are some other seats out there, but honestly, I don't think there's nicer seats than the Recaro Sportster GT seats. They just look the part. They feel fantastic. It lowers you a tremendous amount, and they're not uncomfortable to sit in every single day. So as you can see on the bolster, it comes up high on your thighs, and then it dips down here. And the reason why it comes down here is 1, to be able to get in and out very easily, and 2, so the stock lap belt actually goes across your lap. On racing seats and fixed back seats, the bolster is much higher and it goes all the way back to the seat. And it's not really recommended to use lap belts because it goes over the seat and not actually over your lap. So there's a big gap between the seat belt and you. But yes, these seats are absolutely my favorite, and definitely the first favorite modification that I have done on my STI. My second favorite modification that I have done on my STI, you guys just saw me install these, do an alignment, and get everything set up, and that is my Fortune Auto coilovers. As you can see, I'm right here. I just refreshed the suspension. I just put a brand new set of Gen 8 500 series Fortune Auto coilovers in with AK Hyperco springs. I absolutely love them. They feel fantastic. The stock suspension on the STI is decent, but it sits extremely high. There is a massive gap between the tire and the actual fender, and honestly, they ride pretty darn rough. The stock suspension, when you go over a bump or dips in the road, it felt very harsh. It felt like the whole car was going to fall apart. But honestly, even as low as I am and being on aftermarket suspension, these things ride and feel 300 times better than stock. When you go over a bump or you hit a dip in the road or something, it's just a very instant, like boom, it just settles right away. It's very comfortable, and I would highly recommend doing these even if it's a daily driver. It's such a great suspension setup, and it really takes this car to the next level. Even if you don't have wheels or anything else, I highly recommend upgrading the suspension to some Fortune Auto coilovers. Coilovers in general, you get two things. You get performance and you also get aesthetics. It changes the overall look of the car by lowering it. And honestly, these cars stock at the stock height, they look really goofy in my eyes. And having these things much lower than stock really improves the overall look of them, and not to mention the handling is just so much better. So that is my second favorite modification that I have done on my STI. And my third favorite modification that I have ever done to this car is right here. This is the iDoing Android head unit. I got this thing back in 2018, I believe. I've been running this for just under about 5 years, so about 4.5 years now. This is the original unit, and a lot of people have gotten these since, and it is fantastic. It has been flawless, no issues. Honestly, for $300 and I think $30 I spent on it, it has been fantastic. The amount of options this thing has is insane. It's super fast. You have navigation on here, radio. You can play videos on here and everything. And one of the best things, and honestly the only app or only thing that I use this for, is CarPlay. It's wireless CarPlay, which is amazing. So you just get in and everything connects. Everything is incredibly fast, just like it would be if you got into any other car that came with it. Because mine is a 2017 and it did not come with CarPlay. I believe in 2019 they started putting CarPlay in the stock head unit, which is terrible. But getting this unit is fantastic. It looks very OEM. I have it wrapped, the trim in Alcantara. You guys seen a video on that. It also improves the overall sound of the entire stereo system. I do have the OEM kicker speaker upgrade as well, but even so, doing this just alone is a huge upgrade, and I cannot recommend it enough. So if you're looking to get a much nicer screen and just get more options other than the boring and stock crappy head unit that comes with these cars, I highly recommend picking one of these up. It is absolutely fantastic. I have been so thrilled with it. You can get different setups and everything. So right now, this is the one I have it set on, and it's just fantastic. So I'll leave a link below for this if you guys are interested in picking one up. I highly recommend it. There you go, guys. Those are my top 3 favorite modifications that I've ever done on my STI. There is so many things done on this car. It's pretty insane. It may not look like it from the outside, but honestly, when you start breaking things down and looking at everything, it even surprises me of how much I've actually done to it. So choosing only 3 was very hard. But those top 3 things, the seats, the suspension, as well as the iDoing head unit, those 3 modifications alone, I still, every time I get in the car and I drive it, those are the first 3 things that come to mind that I'm thankful for, that really just make this car a much more pleasurable and enjoyable experience. I love music, and I know a lot of you guys do too. So having some type of decent head unit in the car was really important to me, and I've been blown away by the iDoing head unit. It's just fantastic. It suits all my needs, and again, it has CarPlay, which is what I solely use it for. The suspension, I cannot recommend that enough. It's absolutely insane. When you drive this car, it really feels like a completely different car. I actually said this car drove and feels better than my E46 M3 that I had many years ago on KW V2 coilovers, which is pretty insane to think that a Subaru STI drives and feels better than my E46 M3. It is wild to think that and even say that out loud. And lastly, the Recaro Sportster GT seats. Absolutely phenomenal seats. I have said this time and time and again. Any other car that I get in the future, those seats, they will be going in it. Doesn't matter what car, doesn't matter what I do. those seats will be coming with me probably for the rest of my life. I'll probably keep on getting new sets as the time goes on and keep putting them into new cars because they are that good. So I'm sure you guys can pick apart your top 3 favorite mods on my car or your car. Like I said, there are so many to choose from, but those were just my top 3. I would love to hear your top 3, so leave them in the comments below. I'd love to have a discussion and maybe something I forgot that is a little bit better than those top 3 that I mentioned. But make sure you guys stay tuned for a lot of videos coming up with all the new modifications and everything coming in. And I got a little surprise for you guys, as I mentioned. I'm really looking forward to all that, so stay tuned for future videos. But as for this one, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions at all about the car or anything else at all, ask them in the comments below. But in the meantime, keep it clean, keep it simple, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.